Solana currently is, call it $200. It's just a bit below that. The probability, if it just follows previous bull cycles, even if it's a really stunted cycle, it goes to 500. And if it's a really good cycle, it can go to 2,000.
In recent years, Solana has gained immense popularity due to its scalability and high transaction speeds, making it a favorite among investors. The cryptocurrency has become a popular rival to Ethereum, the second largest cryptocurrency in the world after Bitcoin. And many are wondering if 2024 could be a milestone year for Solana. Solana has had a tough market, and its shares have seen some pretty big rises and some small declines in recent months. Solana, which started from a modest position in October 2023, reached impressive heights at Christmas, but corrected itself with the arrival of the new year. However, the digital currency has proven resilient by following a trajectory that indicates the possibility of recovery and growth. In today's video, we will tell you Raoul Pal's view on Solana, as he says Solana can cross $2,000 by the end of 2024. But before we get into the video, make sure you subscribe to our channel and press that bell icon to never miss an update. In the dynamic field of finance, the cryptocurrency landscape reflects the continued evolution of digital assets. Currently, cryptocurrencies are a $2.7 trillion industry. It will likely end this cycle with between $10 and $15 trillion by around 2030. And by around 2030, it will reach $100 trillion. This is the largest and fastest accumulation of wealth in human history. It's that simple. Now, what everyone does, and as you explained, there's a bell curve, and you want to be to the left of the bell curve. For anyone who's in the middle and overthinking it, it's simple. The number is increasing. That's everything you need to know about crypto. As soon as you think about it too much, that's when you get into trouble and start not seeing it for what it is. You see it the way you want it to be. The numbers will continue to rise. Adoption will continue to increase. You don't need to know anything else. That's why it's so easy to get involved in this. If you look at the ridiculous thing that Paul Tudor Jones mentioned a while ago, and Stan Druckenmiller explained that 80% of Bitcoin holders never sell. And the same goes for Ethereum, with betting and everything else. So your actual offer is 20% plus miners. Miners continue to decline by half every 4 years. Then you have no supply, so this represents 20% of the entire asset class, of which 2.7 trillion is available for purchase. You bring in something like an ETF, and things get crazy. The more people adopt it, the more the price increases. Bitcoin is an alien asset class. We've never had an asset class with this risk-reward ratio over a long-term time horizon. And with this performance in all of human history, the logarithmic graph over time continues to increase. Wealth continues to increase. It ranges from $1 billion to $10 billion to $100 billion to $1 trillion. This continues to grow. This is the largest and fastest accumulation of wealth in human history. If it hits $100 trillion, the S&P is worth $50 trillion, or the American stock market. All American stocks, that's 100 years of accumulation. That's 100 years of accumulated value, and we're going to double it in a decade. You do not own the money in your bank account or the securities you think you own. And when you saw Lehman, you saw that there were collateral assets and all this leverage, and it's a big game of musical chairs as to who gets a piece of the collateral. Nobody owns anything. Blockchain changes that because you can prove who owns it. You can give permission to remortgage them or not. So this is a turning point for that. But even in terms of trading, it gives you a whole new set of things that you didn't have before. Funding rates are simply awesome because you can see in real time what you would need from a Goldman Prime broker and how funding rates are negotiated for specific stocks. But here you can see it in real time. You will be able to see when it is fixed. If you add a little technical analysis to that, you now have a very good system to understand. It's quite common around all-time highs for people to take a few chips off the table. We see long-term wallet addresses, which takes away some tokens. This is quite common before the halving. Then he usually heads up to the banana area, and that's when you see the real price action. The real price movement has therefore not yet taken place. And don't overcomplicate things. Everyone is going to complicate things. They will look at weekly charts, daily charts, hourly charts, and tick charts. Forget that. You should have another year to make a lot of money. This crypto market is the greatest gift ever given to human investors. Technology and cryptocurrencies are governed by liquidity cycles. Real assets, value stocks, commodities, these are just business cycles. And the economic cycle is now accelerating. So these things have caught up. They were dogs. Now, as the economy begins to strengthen, these companies will do well. And then everyone got left behind because they didn't do anything last year, and now they should do just fine. And they should do just fine in the macro summer from macro fall. So they should continue to do well over time. They have rules where they will surpass what made the technology because the technology was used for racing in the first place. And bond yields are also just a function of that. If the economy strengthens, bond yields tend to rise somewhat. But the Fed can't let too much happen because the Treasury must refinance all of its debts. And we have before us these massive debt repayments. When the economic cycle accelerates, yields always increase. It's the economy. The same thing always happens with goods. Commodities lead the inflation cycle, but 63% of total inflation is the equivalent income of the furthest behind homeowner. But if you opt for the meme coin in a trending market, your probability is probably 20 times higher. So if you are 25 years old, you have no chance of buying a house, the S&P is too expensive to buy, you cannot. This is your chance. You can do 100x, 1000x, 10,000x. We've seen them all over the past couple of months. This will attract people, and it is rational behavior because they have no way out. We are moving towards a world where we will have equity in what is culturally important to us, in a world where AI will replace jobs. That is the future. You can't see it yet because it's super speculative and it's very early. But what we do is create little miniature clusters of token economies around ideas, memes, and culture. This is a moment that people remember, just like when they remember the NFTs of the last cycle. Ultimately, NFTs will be every ticket, every contract, but it was the beginning. It has become an art. If you think of Ethereum as Android, you would think of Solana as Apple. What you have here is a completely different operating system. This means that it's very useful for these kinds of things like meme pieces or things that require speed. With the Fire Dancer upgrade, it will be super fast, but that doesn't mean it replaces one or the other. It's simply at an early stage of its adoption curve. It is therefore experiencing strong growth as it finds its place within this new global infrastructure of blockchain technology and is now proving to be a very important player. If there is going to be a retail chain, it will probably be Solana. Solana currently costs $200 or a little less. The probability, if you just follow previous bull cycles, even if it's a very delayed cycle, reaches 500, and if it's a very good cycle, it will reach 2,000. That's enough for the whole world. Bitcoin costs around 150% per year, even with 80% discounts 4 times in the middle. They never gave us an asset like this with an adoption like this. And in the future, if we assume the growth rate matches that of the internet, by the end of 2025, we will end up with 1 billion users. And if we extrapolate this to the year 2030, we reach 4 billion users. It's a ubiquitous technology that will take over our lives in ways we don't really understand. It's not just about investing in cryptocurrencies. They will simply be the underlying rails of transactions. Almost all but a few people were wrong about Google. They were wrong about Amazon. They were wrong about Tesla. They were wrong about Apple. All those things. These are all network adoption models. Everyone was wrong because we can't understand the exponential that growth is deteriorating. And we're seeing it again with AI. It's even faster. Humans simply cannot extrapolate such a rate of change. That's all for today. Let us know your views in the comments section below. And don't forget to like this video before leaving. Thanks for watching.